Welcome to the Hey Nashville show. I'm your host, Monteon Jones, and today we meet with a non-profit organization that spend part, if not all of their lives, making other people just feel normal. Today, we travel to Gainesboro, Tennessee to meet with a group of individuals with hearts bigger than yours and mine combined. Let's take a look.
We come to camp and we feel like everyone else. There is no different here. Everyone's the same. It is such a confidence booster. Feel like you're the same as everyone else around you. It is so amazing. You get to hang out with some great friends who are pretty much like your family now. It is amazing.
Tongue it! Tongue it! No! Tongue it!
You ready? There we go.
No, you gotta tongue it.
Alright, we're good. Wait. You just gotta remember that forever.
Wait, no, I'm not tugging it or kissing it in the mouth.
The picture messed up. Cat needs to get another one.
Shut up, Cameron.
Quit pacing, Cameron. You're gonna hit people.
This is the pool where we take the children swimming. It's 4 foot deep. It has a 0 entry. Some of our children that aren't ambulatory at all, we can just lift down into the pool, or we have a shower chair where we can roll them into the pool so that they swim every day that they're here. They love it. They're buoyant. Where they can't move out of the water. The water makes them buoyant enough that they can move, and they love being in the water. The area that we have back here is where we do our arts and crafts. And we've got it set up right now so that they can tie-dye t-shirts this afternoon. But we paint, we do this. Lowe's has donated some wood projects, and we put those together and paint those. So we've got it set up to where we can tie-dye here. While the kids are in the pool, there's at least 2 lifeguards here at the pool with them, and their counselors are in the pool with them at all times. So we're trying to be very, very focused on safety for these kids and stuff. So, and like I said, we're setting up for tie-dye so they can do their t-shirts and everything this afternoon. What we're going to do is we're going to take Joshua, and I'm going to sit in the tube, and I'm going to hold Josh while we take him tubing behind the boat. We have on the campground here, we have 9 certified rescuers/lifeguards. And so anytime we take a child out, unless we feel good about their capability of staying afloat until we can get there, they have a lifeguard on the tube with them, and there's at least 2 lifeguards on the boat. So we're fixing to take Josh tubing. You excited?
Yes.
Josh, you know the signals, right?
Yeah.
This means slow down.
No, this means go faster.
Oh.
This is faster, this is slower,
And this is stop.
this is okay, and this is stop. Do you want your arm around me, or do you want it in front? Okay.
How's your butt?
Good.
Does it need to be adjusted any?
What makes you think we're asking about yours?
Yeah. Need to worry about my foot. Okay, I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
You good? Pretty much the only time of the year the kids get to do the tubing. It's a great time, and they wait in line to be able to do it. They actually tried to keep some of the kids away so that they wouldn't see us get started, because they would possibly skip lunch to be down here, because we've been asked several times this morning. So it's just a lot of fun. They love it. They control everything. We've got hand signals, and they tell us what to do, and we do it.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
Alright, hold on. I gotta get a photo.
There you go, Brooke.
Did you just say it's so slimy?
You didn't say that, did you?
All right, let's see it, Brooke. It's video.
Uh-oh.
You gonna kiss him? No, still camera. Kiss the fish, Brooke.
Here, let me turn around here where you can get a good smooch on him.
Woo!
There you go. You gotta go back.
I will be attending MTSU in the fall. August 22nd is when I move in, and classes start the 25th. And I honestly wouldn't have been able to do that without the help
of the ARE organization to help me find paperwork I needed, help me fill out the forms. They've done so much, and I honestly could never thank them enough for all they do for us.
Hey Nashville, I want to introduce to you Karen and Maria, only 1% of ARE. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Great, we're doing great today.
Tell us about ARE. I mean, I'm just loving this. Tell us everything we need to know.
We're at We Are Family Summer Camp in Gainesboro, Tennessee at the beautiful Camp Discovery. We have been here since Saturday. Today is Wednesday. It's going by so quickly. We have about 25 campers here with their counselors and lots of volunteers to ensure they're having a great time this week. We're on a lovely lake. We've been swimming. Of course, today is the hottest day when we decide to have a fishing tournament, but that's normal for us.
It is. We've had karaoke night. We've had, what else? Casino night. The children are able to it's a barrier-free environment where the children are able to have access to anything they want to do while they're here. We are able to get them out of their wheelchairs. We're able to take them swimming, tubing, horseback riding. They took a little ride on a motorcycle this year.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But it's just a week that these kids get to be normal.
You know, today, while I was hanging out, I noticed that the place, I mean, it seems so very personal here. Is that because you guys have been working so long together or what?
It is. I mean, our camp's name is We Are Family for a reason, because we are truly a family. A lot of us have known each other for 30 years. We've got lots of 20-plus year volunteers. This is Karen's 10th year. So we have a few newbies on the campground, but a lot of us have literally grown up together. And we meet a lot of our kids when they're age 5 or 6, close to the time of diagnosis for them. And they stay with us all the way into adulthood. So we are family, and we fight and bicker and argue and hug and love and just have a good time together like families do.
Between the volunteers and the staff and everything, there's over 500 years of combined experience working with these children and bringing them to camp and giving them the capability of doing the things that they're able to do here. And even throughout the year, it's not just this 1 week out of the year. I talk to Maria sometimes once a day, sometimes 23 times a day. And we're in constant touch with each other. We go to these children's birthday parties. We go to these children's graduations. We go to these children, their school plays, the events that are special to them. It's a year-long thing. When a child is in the hospital, we're there to sit with the child, to give the parents a relief, mostly Maria, she does that a lot. But, you know, take things for them to occupy themselves. So it's not just this 1 week of summer camp. You have an entire campground of volunteers. There's not one paid person on this campground.
I spoke with a young lady today at here camp, and she stated that she was enrolling into MTSU and that you guys have to get started.
Jennifer will be going to MTSU next year. We have worked to make sure that she gets a nice handicapped accessible dorm room on the nicer side of campus. Did I say that out loud?
You did.
And you know, we're so enthused about her being there, and that's a big part of the Alliance for Recreational Empowerment's mission, is that they go to school, that they're not just passed through the system because they're in wheelchairs or they miss a lot of school because they're in the hospital. We make sure when they're in the hospital, I've taken books to the hospital and we've studied algebra and science and English to stay on track and stay in school. So the ultimate goal is post-secondary education for our kids, so that they don't have to be dependent on Social Security disability. They can be out in the community and be productive citizens.
We want them to realize that the wheelchair doesn't define them. My form of transportation just happens to be my legs. Their form of transportation happens to be a wheelchair. Therefore, that doesn't stop them from going on and continuing their education. And that's where the Alliance for Recreational Empowerment, you know, our goal is to empower these children to further themselves and develop themselves and to finish this for me.
Part of being here is, you know, being comfortable and being in an environment when you're comfortable with yourself, and you know you've got a support network. So our kids know they can reach out to us. When Jen was coming to MTSU, she was constantly calling, going, okay, what do I do next? And have I done everything? We have another one, Alyssa. I think you talked to Alyssa today, and she's the one with the blonde hair. She's at MTSU. She'll be a junior. She's going into education, and again, in school and headed on to being very productive. Anna, who's here with Bark, the service dog. I don't know if you talked to Anna yet or not, but she's going to Western Kentucky. We were sad she didn't come here, but it's okay.
And she is planning on majoring in psychology, and then furthering, you know, postgraduate degree in law. And then it is her goal to help individuals with mental disabilities to further themselves and make the most of themselves that they can. So she's taken the whole theory of care, or the whole embodiment of what we are, and she wants to further it to others through her education. And so therefore we just grow and grow exponentially as it goes out and spreads in the community.
You know, I just can't thank you guys enough for what you're doing. Are there any future projects coming about that you want Nashville to know about?
Absolutely. We will be having our 4th annual Cruise for Camp, which is a bike run. And the bikers in our community have been so generous. In fact, they were up here Sunday visiting us, some of them. They've been so generous and stuff. So September 14th, barring any rain, will be our Cruise for Camp. And it'll be a bike run for a fundraiser between that and the fishing tournament, which we just had a couple of weeks ago, which was sponsored by Two Rivers Ford. Thank you very much. Between those two events, over half of this camp is paid for. The other comes through individual donations and things like that. We're always looking for people to sponsor any of our fundraising events. We're also looking for anyone willing to make donations, not necessarily monetary donations, but if they have something that they can donate that we can use for an auction item or something like that in one of our fundraisers. But between our fishing tournament in the spring and then the Cruise for Camp in the fall, that pays for over half of our camp expenses.
We're going to set up a link from our site to yours, so when people go on, it'll transfer, you know, so they can give donations. And speaking of donations, I hear that John Barker of Two Rivers Ford is one of your main sponsors.
Absolutely. He sponsors our fishing tournament and stuff, and we wouldn't be able to be here without his support, you know. We would possibly be able to be here, but it definitely wouldn't be as easy as it has.
No, it certainly makes it a whole lot less stressful.
A whole lot less stressful.
Question: where do you see ARE 5 years from now?
We hope to have grown our camp, add 10 to 15 more campers, all the associated volunteers needed to go with those campers, and we do need a few more volunteers at camp. We generally take in volunteers through people that we know and somebody that knows somebody. That way we make sure we have a nice, safe environment on the campground for the kids. And then the other big thing for us with ARE is that because we do have an education goal with our campground, we'd like to be doing some conferences with families with children with disabilities and kind of sharing what our idea of kids with disabilities in the school system looks like. So on path, on track, looking for post-secondary education at whatever level, whether that's community college, technical college, just some sort of additional training so they're out there. So we're hoping to have a big education conference with several other groups, and again, at least have 3 or 4 more of our kids in college by then.
We're looking to break that cycle of when I grow up, I want to go on disability. We want to look at that cycle as becoming when I grow up, I want to go to college. I want to have a job. I want to be a productive citizen. I matter. I'm valued.
Hey Nashville, Brian Daniel Baker here. I'm a local photo artist here in Nashville, from Philadelphia originally, and I like taking photos everywhere. I like to travel around, take photos, and do photos that make people think. Let's see what else. I like long walks on the beach. My favorite kind of movies are psychological thrillers. My favorite food is whatever kind of food I haven't tried yet. With my photos, I really like to make images that make people think, especially images that make you look a second time. Because I really find that, in general, our first impressions of things can be mistaken. When we look at an image, if we take a second look, sometimes we realize, wow, there's a lot more going on here. And if we apply that to people, too, we can be a lot less judgmental, more gracious to people. We would all appreciate that, those who take the time to look again, see who we are on the inside, and I want to reflect that in my art.
On every episode of Hey Nashville, our goal is to showcase a local with ambition. And today, I have with me model Jasmine Noel from North Nashville. Hey Jasmine, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you today?
I'm awesome, just awesome. I want to thank you for being our guest today here on Hey Nashville.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here and just enjoying this beautiful day outside. It feels great out here.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, you're looking mighty beautiful today as well.
Thank you.
Hey, let me ask you a question. One of the things I noticed about you is that you model with clothes on.
That is true. I do model with clothes on. I know a lot of models, they do nude shoots or, you know, other things without clothes. I prefer my clothes on. I'm really tasteful when it comes to the shoots that I do. And I just like to show off the fashion. I love fashion and designer clothes. So, yeah, I do model with my clothes on.
I totally understand. And that's one of the things that I respect about you. Now, let me ask you a question. For the models that do model without their clothes, are there any advantages or disadvantages that you know of?
I mean, it can be. Well, yeah, both. Advantages, I guess, would be maybe a model, quote unquote, climbing to the top of the ladder, so to speak, faster if they feel like that's what they have to do to get to a certain point of success in their life, is to take their clothes off and, you know, sex sell, so to speak. So in that way, I guess it could be an advantage, but then I feel like on the other side, it could be a disadvantage, because them taking their clothes off and doing that just to climb the charts, eventually it may come back and bite them if, for instance, they want to do a commercial for Pepsi or something else and they find that shoot that they did with somebody else that wasn't tasteful. That company may not want to represent them because of pictures that they've taken in the past. So I think it can kind of come back to haunt a model if she does that, and it can kind of put them in a category or a box of, she's this type of model, all she does is take her clothes off, so she can't do high fashion or commercials. So it works both ways.
Now, I agree with you 100%. Now, you are a native of Nashville, correct?
Yes, I am born and raised in Nashville.
Now, I remember from you talking, you said North Nashville. Now, I'm from East Nashville, and here we are. We've beaten all the stereotypes.
I was raised in the hood, and I was raised in, you know, a poverty-stricken neighborhood, but I know how to act in different settings, so I wouldn't necessarily say I'm hood now.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't bring the hood out.
No. Not on the show, I won't bring it out.
You know, I've gotten away from that myself.
That's good. I mean, you have to. You know, when you want to get in corporate America, they don't want hood at all. So that's not gonna work.
Now, Jasmine, what advice would you have for young ladies that would love to walk in your shoes?
I would say the most important thing is make sure that modeling is your calling, because I believe everybody is put on earth for a specific calling or just a destiny that they have from God. So I think a lot of people get caught up in wanting to do a career just because they see somebody else doing it and they like it and they're attracted to it, but it's not necessarily what they were put on earth to do. So that's most important, just making sure that that's what you're here for on earth. And once you know that that's your purpose to be a model, I would just say start off by building your portfolio, working with local photographers and local designers, get your portfolio built up, build a good name and brand for yourself, and just watch out for the scams. There's a lot of people out there taking advantage of young models, so do your research and make sure you stay on top of that, and that way nobody takes advantage of you. So,
you know, honestly, I would hate to be in your shoes. You probably get a lot of extra attention, right?
I do, and I'm saying that as humbly as possible, but I do get hit on by a lot of people, but it's flattery to me. You know, I'm honored to be, you know, hit on and attracted to by so many people, so I just take it. It comes with the job, but it's a blessing to be beautiful, so I don't get creeped out by it.
Now, from my understanding, the leaders of your company are you and your sister, and the name of the company is?
It's J Noel Models.
Now, her role is management, and you're the model, correct?
Yes, she's my booking agent, and she's the CEO of the company. She's my manager. She books all my jobs, all my shows, handles all the dirty work, so to speak, for me, so that I could just go to the show and be focused, and I don't have to worry about the managing and the paperwork side of everything. So.
Now, is it easy to work with family? I hear working with family can be pretty difficult.
Yes, I mean, yes and no, because it's hard in the sense of we don't know sometimes when to separate business and our sisterhood, so we can get around each other and then it's like all business and we forget to be sisters, and vice versa. We're in a meeting and then it's like, oh, did you hear what mom did about blah blah blah? So it's kind of hard to find that balance, but as far as like arguing and disagreeing, that's at a minimum. As far as bumping heads, that's at a minimum. That's the whole reason I asked her to be my agent in the first place. So we don't have too many problems with it, but it can get bumpy sometimes.
Okay, you're 25 with no kids, no husband, and no boyfriend.
No husband, no boyfriend.
I mean, come on, how did that happen?
Well, I mean, I had my first love when I was 15, and I was in a deep 4-year relationship. After I got out of that, I pretty much just wanted to live my life. I wanted to focus on my career. I didn't really want a guy to be focused on at the time. So I've dated, you know, in between then. I've had a relationship since then. It kind of didn't work out, but I'm just driven and I'm focused, and I feel like, not that a boyfriend will get in my way or distract me, but that's gonna come along, but that's not my focal point right now. So
I mean, yeah, sure, to get in the way. You out on a hot date, you know, sitting at the table, and eyes are just looking our way, maybe comments, gestures. I mean, you're gonna have a pretty secure guy, right?
Oh, definitely, like very secure, because I am always around a lot of males. You know, majority of my photographers are male photographers. A majority of my friends are male friends. I hang out with a lot of, you know, guys and people of the opposite sex. So he would definitely have to be secure, and he would have to feel good about himself and be confident, because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Would he have to drive a BMW?
I mean, he doesn't have to. I'm just looking for a guy that loves God, who's driven like I am, who's sexy, and, you know, just wants to conquer the world like I do, because that's all I want to do, is just take over the world.
Well, hey, I want to sincerely thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you invited me out. I've enjoyed my time talking to you, and can't wait to be on here again. Thank you.
Today, we had the opportunity to meet with Karen and Maria from ARE and witness the compassion and love from one individual to another. We also had the opportunity to meet with Jasmine Noel, a young, determined, ambitious model with 100% respect for herself. What's your story? Log on to heynashville.org and tell us your story. Until next time.